you were thrown in the deep end.
Mm.
I remember the first day, the principals, the senior teacher said, "Okay, here is your class register. Make sure you register the students' names and their addresses and everything else. And then here is the book list. Make sure you get the students to buy their books because there's a bookstore there. And then they said, here is your timetable for the class." And that's it. I'm brand new and I'm facing the class of 40 boys and girls. And yeah, I guess I must have pretended to be cool and know all the things to do. And of course, yeah, I think so. At that time, you had to act a little bit, I think. Uh, and so I remember preparing everything, going to class, teaching, and so forth. And also, there was disciplinary matters. I remember one occasion, uh, my next door, the teacher next in the class next door came to see me and she said, "Hey, look at the mess my classroom is." And I went to see her and went to see her classroom and the desk was all over the place and there was rubbish everywhere. And I was wondering what happened. And I found out that I think there were 6 boys who had come into that class and done this. I'm not sure why, but I remember the this teacher. She asked me to come and punish them, and so these 6 boys all stood in front of me, and I went. I remember doing this, and I hope these 6 boys who are who are from that class remember this and also forgive me because I gave them each one tight slap,
Wow.
slap, 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 and I also I could feel my hand aching because of the slaps, and uh, so I remember that occasion also in Tiong Bahru Primary School, and of course we also had another um, uh, momentous time was when the senior teacher by the name of Mr. Lai Hin Wing, he was also the senior teacher at the same time the sports secretary. And once a year we would have a athletics uh, meet, and we would go to the field that was just next door to us. It was the field that belongs to the University of Singapore Medical College. So the medical college was there, and there was a beautiful field. And uh, we would, I'm not sure whether we paid for it, but we will go over there. And this man, Mr. Lai Hin Wing, he showed me how to draw a track on the grass field. And first we made a triangle. We made a rectangle, and then put the 2 semicircles at the end of each uh, rectangle, and then you got a track. And he showed me how to make sure that the rectangle had right angles, and he taught me about Pythagoras theorem. I've heard of it in school, but I didn't know anything about it. But Mr. Lai Hin Wei, he showed me what Pythagoras theorem was all about, and I helped him to draw those the rectangle, and then we drew the radius from the diameter of the rectangle. We drew the radius and made 6 lanes on each side. So we drew our own track on the field. And I remember doing that 2 or 3 times before I left Tiong Bahru. I was so grateful for that experience. So another experience was as soon as I had gone into the school, after the principal gave me all the registers and the book list and everything else, she also said, "You are also the teacher in charge of badminton." And the school had one badminton court. It was in the car park. So teachers would drive in the morning and their cars will be there. And then when they leave, the afternoon teachers will be there and their cars will be there. So for me to conduct badminton, it was always after 6 p.m. And so after my classes, one more thing I must tell all listeners. In those years, 1 year you are in the morning school with a set of students and teachers. Then the following year, the whole set of students and teachers go to the afternoon session, and the afternoon session of teachers and students will come to the morning. The only common person was the principal, but there was two sessions. And so my first year there, I was in the afternoon session. So uh, I had to wait until the the classes were over, and it's from 6 p.m. the court was clear because the teachers would have driven away, and then I would start badminton. And uh, one court, stand, net, some rackets, some shuttles, and then there was a floodlight, one light to make the place uh, lighted up so that we could do badminton. And I can't remember those students, they came and then they had this, we had badminton. And let me tell you one thing else. The only badminton experience I had was when I played badminton with my sisters in the courtyard at home, in the small, narrow area. And then now I'm the teacher in charge of badminton. So I had to learn everything from scratch again, how to serve, how to do this. And I think the guy who was responsible for this was our school uh, office boy. This guy, uh, I think his name was Hassan. He stayed in a in living quarters on the on the school property. And so he was there all the time. And so he liked to play badminton, and he would come and join whenever I had badminton session. And I think I learned a few things from him. But I remember getting the boys and girls ready, and even going for a badminton tournament in a school somewhere. So that was that part of my CCA. And of course, the most momentous occasion of my being in Tiong Bahru School was my meeting up with my friend by the name of Lim IQ, because Lim IQ was the one who introduced me to athletics. And that is another story.